Welcome back to Midpoint. Back here is senior instructor at the SANS Institute and cybersecurity expert Paul Henry is joining us on this Friday afternoon. We were talking about, cyber hackers affecting Wall Street. You were mentioning they already have, and one of the worst attacks was against NASDAQ, and where they had a huge malware infiltration. Just tell us, how bad did that get, and how concerned are you about the financial sector really being hit by cyber hackers?
Well, we actually got lucky with that one. Reportedly, it was Russian malware that was inserted. They basically put a time bomb in the network that was supposed to go off at a specific time to delete data. Fortunately, the logic bomb failed. They were not as impactful, I guess, as the Russians had hoped. Now, had that worked, can you imagine having all trading data simply wiped from NASDAQ? What impact would that have had on the economy? It would have been just disastrous.
And that kind of leads to this next question, because a lot of Republicans are critical of President Obama. He's not doing enough to try to come up with some adequate fail-safes to try to stop cyber hackers. From a government standpoint, are we putting enough resources in to really try to prevent something like this from happening? And is the punishment in place? Is it strict enough? Is it tough enough for people to really feel the repercussions if they were to be caught?
Well, a couple of things there. Number one, this is an arms race. The more you spend, the more your adversary is going to spend. It just gets out of control very quickly. I think that we're trying to be responsible about the spend. I think approaching it with the training programs that are now in place, et cetera, to build out our own cyber defenses is definitely the right way to go.
One of the instances where we were affected, a lot of people were affected by some of these cyber hackers, Christmas Day, Xbox and PlayStation, and people were unwrapping these amazing gifts, and these kids were ready to play. Lo and behold, they were having a difficult time logging in. Tell us what happened in that particular case and how it got resolved.
It was a DOS attack. They simply threw a bunch of what looked like legitimate connections at the site to overwhelm it. It was quite effective. It took both sites down. I was reading this morning myself that a gentleman by the name of Kim.com actually helped save Christmas. He offered free accounts to the guys on his service that were launching the DOS attack, and apparently they took him up on his offer, and very quickly things scaled back on the DOS attack.
So in many instances, these are just people that are doing it just to say they did it. There's not a financial incentive. It's not like they have anything against, for example, PlayStation or Xbox. They were just trying to see what kind of havoc they could create in the private sector.
In that particular case, perhaps. But again, we do have that financial incentive today for cyber criminals, and that just seems to be seeing explosive growth.
You know what? At some point, people are going to make decisions as far as what they can do to protect themselves. So you deal with a lot of private people as they try to navigate through all the different cyber attacks out there. What can we do on our own computers to make sure that we're not the victim of a cyber hacker?
Actually, it's not as difficult as one might think. At SANS, we simply call it security essentials, doing the basics. In the vast majority of cyber attacks that have occurred here of late, it was because people skipped on the basics. This is doing things like always making sure you're running the most current version of a vendor's software, so you want to apply those patches. Now, many people will simply turn on Microsoft's WSUS and call it a day, we'll say. The problem is it's all the third-party software that's on your PC, the add-ons, the browser helper objects, that sort of thing. Programs like QuickTime, like Adobe Flash, Acrobat Reader, etc. So again, keeping everything patched and up to date, absolutely necessary. While antivirus may be not 100% effective today, you should be running antivirus, making certain that your signatures are properly updated, etc. You should be running a firewall to minimize what services are appearing on the wire from your environment. Again, just doing the very basics.
From the record of cyber attacks, in many instances, is it just corporations hacking other corporations to try to gain an edge?
No, I think today the majority of what we're seeing are cyber criminals. They're doing it for the financial incentive, we'll say.
The interview was really popular. This story has been out there now for a couple of weeks. And ultimately, Sony felt that, again, that it was the North Koreans that were behind the attack. Now it's on there for on demand. Do you get a sense that that we're going to see this movie out and people can feel comfortable downloading it, and there isn't a concern for the theater holders, the theater owners out there?
I watched it myself last night. I streamed it off of Google. I thought it was pretty funny, too, by the way. Not first class, but still pretty funny. I don't think that we need to fear North Koreans, doing anything at our movie theaters here in the USA.
What about what we're doing as far as a legislative standpoint? Can we be doing more, do you think?
I think what we need to do is speak with other governments. We have some solid legislation here in the United States. The problem is other countries have none. That allows cyber criminals to operate out of those regions of the world with complete impunity. We need, inarguably here, we have great state legislation. We need all-encompassing federal legislation, but we also need to look at that globally.
Yeah. Could be an issue where Republicans and Democrats could come together as they try to take on the cyber hackers out there. Paul Henry, thank you so much, a cyber expert with really great information, because it's something we're going to have to deal with in this day and age, unfortunately, but obviously it is the case. Paul, thanks so much for joining us. All right, we got much more to talk about right here on the Friday afternoon edition of Midpoint. We hope that you're having a great day. I'm Rick Blackwell in for Ed Berliner.